Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Tom's Tips, the express version of our podcast, Mental Health Matters. Check us out at stlouiscounseling.org. That's spelled out, stlouiscounseling.org. Summer lovin' had me a blast. Summer lovin' happened so fast. Yes, summer is over, right? So it's kind of sad. We know that school is starting up. That's why I kind of feel summer is coming to an end, and which is sad, right? But at the same time, we know that it's that time of year where kids are getting ready to go back to school, and when they go back to school, we're going to see all those funny posts on social media with the parents celebrating and having a good time. But it is a stressful time for all of us. I love actually going to stores and watching families school shop. Now, I don't like doing it myself, but oh my gosh, you look at the frustration and you hear all the arguments from the parents with the kids about trying this on and the kids arguing back. It's pretty comical when you can sit back and relax. I have a friend that talks about school shopping for him this time of year is traumatic for him because he thinks back about he had to always go to the Husky section of every store, and his mom would just announce it out loud, like, "Where's the Husky section at?" And he hated it. So every time school shopping starts for him and his kids now, he's like, "Oh, not this again." But I think they got rid of the Husky section in stores. I could be wrong. But the bottom line is we want to talk today about, in this edition of Tom's Tips, about going back to school and the stress that it has on all of us, right? So number one, get an early start on that school structure to make it an easy first week for your kids. That means we all know when school starts, right? So maybe that week prior, or at least a few days prior, the weekend before, start getting the school structure, waking up at a certain time, and being able to function in the mornings and getting them on board. So the bottom line is we want the first week of school to start off in a great way, and so why not put a little prep work into that? So after you get your school shopping done and everything ready, actually get your kids to start engaging in that school structure. Number two, recognize that transition equals stress. All right. So no matter if a child is excited to go back to school or not excited to go back to school, it is a transition. And with any transition, there is stress. So my tip is when they come home from school, give them some downtime. And usually I like doing that throughout the whole school year, but certainly during that first week or two, make sure they get some downtime right off the bat, because they may need to just de-escalate themselves. They might need some quiet time. Maybe you do want to use some technology to let them kind of engage on that after school. It's dependent upon the child, right? Everything is dependent. But the bottom line is you give them a little relaxation and downtime, and recognize that if they do have some attitudes, it may be about that transition. Number three, daily check-ins. I recommend this every day, right? When you're parenting and when you have kids in school in general. But certainly during that first week and 2 weeks of school, and check in with them and actually ask questions that do not involve yes or no answers. Even though they will tell you yes or no, even if you ask an open-ended question, they'll still say yes or no probably. But the reality is, peel back the layer, ask a few more questions. It's really, really important that they know you're plugged into them, which means you need to plug out of whatever you're doing during that check-in and check into them. And by asking some questions and offering some support in a way that doesn't come across always authoritarian. So we're going back to school. It creates a lot of anxiety for kids. We know that kids, when they're getting ready to go back to school, they're like, who's going to be in my class? Is the bully going to be in my class? Is my friend going to be in my class? Lots of different stressors. And so that's just for any kid, not even the kids that are dealing with true anxiety, depressions, or true mental health issues. So these steps that I gave today not only helps people in that realm of that they're already dealing with a mental health issue, but just in general for kids that need that support during this time. So once again, this is Tom Duff with St. Louis Counseling, and you have listened to Tom's Tips.
This has been Mental Health Matters with Tom Duff of St. Louis Counseling Services. Check out stlouiscounseling.org for more information.